People. Que pasa, sakpa, say what they do. Welcome to Crime Time News, where the difference is in the Med Scarlet News with a buzz. The first thing that is popping in the news is that we see that the financial sector, meaning ATM machine, it has been negatively affected since all of those robberies targeting Beryllium Security Company. So we see that high-ranking officials from the JCF, members from Beryllium hierarchy, they had a meeting the other day. A meeting of the great minds all involved in security. And they were trying to come up with some sorts of intricate plan of how they can stop all these thievery, all these robberies that has been committed against the company over the past 2 months or so. 4 hits to be specific. This meeting was chaired by the Deputy Commissioner of P0L, Fitzbailey. Fitzbailey almost gave a guarantee to the country that, listen, we are going to bring those that are responsible for this. They will have to pay for their crimes. We, the JCF and Beryllium, we are partnershiping. So therefore, the greatest minds that are in Jamaica, from CIB, from NIB, from CTAC, from MOCA, from FID, all that are involved are going to be a part of this investigative team. So pretty much this was his pledge and commitment to the people of Jamaica that this is going to be a partnership with the JCF and Beryllium, working in conjunction, collaboration to make sure that the country's financial security is in good hands. People can conduct business. Beryllium can conduct business in a safe environment. People, I am going to let you take a listen to what your assistant or deputy commissioner of P0L had to say. This is going to be part 1 of 2 parts of this interview. Then I am going to let you hear what he had to say about the bravery that he saw on display, about the bravery that was shown by one specific security guard that pretty much fling away the toll whenever him hear all sorts of gunshots start bust. He thought that it was the 4th of July. He thought that he was in some sorts of party and he was throwing his hands in the air, waving it like he just did not care. Take a listen to what your Assistant Commissioner of P0L had to say. Then I'll give my piece. Then I'll play the second part of the interview.
What I can say at this time is that we are partnering with Beryllium in this investigation, and we have been getting significant support, and we can make a pledge to the public that we are going to get to the bottom of this, and we are going to bring those who are responsible for justice. A team of investigators have been put together from the CIB headquarters. The team is headed by a superintendent and consists of several officers from various sections within the JCF. This section includes CTAC, NIB, CIB headquarters, and a number of other divisions. I want the public to be reassured that the JCF will continue to support Beryllium in their effort to perform their task, which is of significant importance to this nation. We will ensure that they can operate in a very safe environment, and we'll put the necessary strategies in place to ensure that.
Now, people, you heard what your ACP had to say. He said that with these great minds that were assembled, we will see the new strategy that is being implemented. The collaboration by the best of the JCF. He almost guaranteed us that the persons responsible all of them will be brought to justice. People, you and I know that a promise is a comfort to a fool. You and I know that based on the JCF record lately, they have not been very successful. Based on Beryllium's record lately, they have not been successful. We are speaking about a merge of two failed institutions, being the JCF and the JDF, coming together, collaborating. That is not necessarily a recipe for success. However, truth be told, we know that there are some competent people working with CIB, NIB, CTAC, MOCA, unless of course they are investigating cases such as SSL, and they get that order from the higher ups in the hierarchy. Listen, make these people go free. People, it is not a recipe for success when you see a public company such as Beryllium has to get assistance from a private company such as the JCF. Beryllium is supposed to be responsible. Beryllium puts itself out there as if they are some sorts of experts on security, moving money from one place to a next in a very safe environment. However, people, I am going to speak about this later on in the news. So people, take a listen, take a look to what the Assistant Deputy Commissioner of POPO, Mr. Fitzbailey, has to say about the bravery that was on display as it pertains to Albion, that is in St. Thomas, where there was an attempted robbery once again, the fourth or so in about 2 months. He said that he saw some sorts of bravery that he has never seen in his lifetime as a POPO officer. He then commended the officer security guard that he saw that was running, that literally took off the pump rifle and fling it to the side and then was running or wobbling for dear life. That is what ACP Bailey claims to be bravery. He said that the man came under FIRE. He challenged the robbers, and then the robbers had to put up some sorts of hasty retreat. People, me no know which video this man did I look on or watching. Don't know what he saw. Don't know if he needs to go check his eyes or whatever the case is. Don't know if there's some new video that is out there that I did not see. However, based on what the Deputy Commissioner of POPO is saying, that is polar opposite than what actually happened in this video or those videos that me, myself, circulated on social media. And then again, maybe I did not get the part of the video in which these men were displaying any sorts of bravery. When you talk about bravery, you talk about a lion. When you talk about cowardly act, you talk about some sitting ducks. Pretty much the owners of Beryllium was setting up these security guards for failure or loss of life, including the life of the public that was out there at the mercy of these GUNMEN. So people, once again, take a listen, take a look at this beautiful bean footage of what the Deputy Commissioner of POPO, Mr. Fitzbailey, has to say. And then I am going to play the video so you can see the difference in what was said and the difference in what actually happened. Take a listen, take a look.
But what we saw was a brave soldier, a brave security guard who was shot by an high-powered weapon, and the impact is what caused the firearm to have fell from his hand. And that same security guard challenged the gunmen that they themselves had to make an hasty retreat.
So people, like me say, there are some competent POPO out there. In general, a failed institution, meaning Beryllium. A failed institution, meaning the JCF. The blind pretty much leading the blind. They are making some promises, but like I said before, a promise is a comfort to a fool. What about a sting? How is it with all of these hits? Back to back to back. 1, 2, Portmore alone, back to back. Next one, then a next one. How is it that these Popo did not collaborate with Beryllium and set up some sorts of sting, catch these people in an act, and pretty much rid Jamaica of them? What about any sorts of die pack that is used in a lot of these financial institutions that are carrying around millions of dollars? If somebody thief the money bag, that money bag is going to explode. Most of the cash in that bag would be useless to anyone. However, I guess their frame of thought is that I better them thief the whole bag with the money instead of the money get all sorts of dye on it. At the end of the day, it is going to be no sorts of good to anybody. But the truth and the fact is that Beryllium has displayed that they cannot transport these money, keep these money safe while they are on the job, restocking these machines. So therefore, the only beneficiary of this is the GUNMEN and the robbers, because we say the public is being inconvenienced, and I understand desperate times calls for desperate measure. In my opinion, these criminals know how the JCF operate, knows how the relevant authority in Jamaica operates. Whenever anything happens, there is going to be a knee-jerk reaction. However, it is only going to be some sorts of 9-day talk. So we hear the JCF saying that they are partnering with Beryllium. How is that going to work? They are going to go with Beryllium with every trip that they have to make to stock up all of these machines, send money back and forth to these financial institutions. Isn't that the job of Beryllium and its employee? What is going to happen when a public company such as JCF links up with a private company for profit such as Beryllium? How are they going to work this out? What is the partnership going to be? Who is going to pay who? What is going to happen? People, don't you see that this is not very practical? At the end of the day, I don't hear them talking about getting any other sorts of armored truck. Me nah hear them say them are going to make sure that these guards are well equipped. First thing first, the JCF cannot manage itself. The JCF does not have the manpower to handle the affairs of Jamaica before all of these problems with Beryllium. The JCF don't have vehicles. The JCF, obviously, some of these power officers are not well equipped about anything as it have to do with security or even traffic. Therefore, that is why I say the blind is leading the blind. Unless them put on them foots, change the mentality of these criminals in a Jamaica, put a stop to these criminals on some sorts of sting operation. So I am just saying this is not going to be sustainable. There is not going to be much success. Yes, the criminals are going to lay in the cuts for about a week or two. And then it is going to lapse. It is going to go back to square one. And then they are going to hit them up once again. Unless you take out your problem, the problem is going to always exist. They are going to come back and haunt you unless you set up some sorts of sting operation. Like me say, get rid of them once and for all, or else they are going to always haunt you. So pretty much what this is some sorts of PR stunt, some sorts of damage control to reassure the public that we are going to be in good hands. However, people, we've heard this all before from our Prime Minister. They were the same persons that told us that, listen, we can sleep with our doors and windows open. Yes, we can, if we want to DIE very, very fast. So the moral of the story is this. When someone shows you what they are capable of, believe what you see, don't believe what they say. A promise is always a comfort to a fool. Don't be a JACKASS. Point blank and period. So anyways, people, thanks once again for checking out my video. If you appreciate videos like these, please show your appreciation by liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing to my channel. That is how YouTube promotes videos like these to like-minded, sensible persons like yourself. And last but not least, please subscribe to my next channel. It is called Jamaica Dancehall Source. The link is going to be in the description of this video. Bless up.